The Red Sox have silently amassed a war chest of over $220 million in long-term savings and just saw their owners cash out nearly $2 billion from the Penguins sale. Money, Ken Rosenthal argues, that should immediately be translated into an elite bat. But here is the burning question that defines the immediate future of the American League East. Does Boston have the guts, the strategic vision, and the institutional willingness to sign the transformative leader like Alex Bregman? Or are we witnessing the creation of the most painful, financially enabled blue ball situation in baseball history? Welcome to 601 Daily News, where we dive deep into the economics, the strategy, and the psychological warfare that defines Major League Baseball's high-stakes off-season maneuvering, specifically asking today, who is going to blink first in the Bregman sweepstakes? Let's be crystal clear about the financial runway the Red Sox have created. It's not just found money, it's money earned through painful, strategic roster surgery. As Rosenthal detailed, they pulled off financially prudent deals for Contras and Gray, shaving an essential $28 million off their short-term commitments, essentially paying players like Sonny Gray down to a bargain rate of 1 year at $21 million, a production value he is almost guaranteed to exceed. Add to that the $10 million in arbitration savings from Owado, and you see the subtle, tactical moves. But the real earthquake was the Rafael Devers trade, creating that staggering $220 million in forward flexibility. When the Fenway Sports Group then sells the Pittsburgh Penguins for nearly double what they paid, hitting that $1.7 to $1.8 billion mark, the message, regardless of what corporate spin doctors say, that's a separate transaction, nothing to do with Red Sox cash flow, is unmistakable. The organization is flush. They need a big bat, and they have the means to acquire him. The internal mandate, according to sources I've spoken with close to the situation, is simple. Failure to acquire a superstar bat this winter will be interpreted as an intentional organizational choke job, perhaps worse than the Mookie Betts fallout. And that brings us to the centerpiece, Alex Bregman. Ken Rosenthal nailed it when he said Bregman should be the first choice. Yes, he's turning 32 in March, but focus on the intangibles.
Last season, the Red Sox saw firsthand what Bregman brings, a lethal combination of offensive production and solid defensive metrics at the hot corner. But the truly distinguishing factor, the reason the Red Sox need to prioritize him over everyone else, is his leadership. He's a rare player who helps make his teammates better, as one anonymous coach commented to me, emphasizing Bregman's presence in the dugout and clubhouse.
He's a proven winner, a World Series veteran with a career OPS plus well north of 130. Bichette is certainly a viable option, a younger, dynamic player who could anchor second base, but the fit is cleaner with Bregman. Bichette's arrival creates infield ambiguity, forcing discussions about where Trevor Story plays and what happens with prospect Marcelo Mayer. Bregman slots directly into third base, solving a gaping hole with veteran authority. The Red Sox must execute their one job, get a big bat via free agency to preserve the future. Now, let's address the inevitable counterargument, the one you hear screaming from every Boston message board right now. This is just Scott Boras using the Red Sox media for leverage. And I say, use common sense. Do you truly believe, even for a moment, that only one team is interested in an elite championship-level third baseman like Alex Bregman? We are talking about the kind of player who has been an all-star caliber performer for years. The market is active. The Arizona Diamondbacks and, crucially, the Toronto Blue Jays have emerged as legitimate suitors. The Blue Jays, in particular, represent the escalating conflict. Toronto, once famously unable to land a big free agent, is suddenly a desired destination. They have already signed 3 crucial pieces this offseason: Dylan Cease, Cody Poteet, and Tyler Rogers, demonstrating a new willingness to spend. Rosenthal suggests Bregman is an exceptional fit, slotting him into third, moving Ernie Clement to second, and capitalizing on the locker room familiarity he shares with former Astros teammates, George Springer and Miles Straw. That internal endorsement is a significant plot point that cannot be overlooked. When Springer speaks about Bregman, he talks about the daily standard he sets, a Blue Jays source confirmed. This dynamic gives Toronto a psychological edge that no amount of pure financial flexibility in Boston can negate. If the Red Sox hesitate for even a moment, Toronto will seize him.
But wait, there's a compelling alternative that the Red Sox ownership might prefer: the trade market. They could pivot to a Ketel Marte from the Diamondbacks or a Brendan Donovan.
This is where the tension hits its peak. Marte is a known quantity, but the D-backs are keen to move on due to well-chronicled clubhouse issues, especially since he gains full veto rights after the 10th day of the season. Donovan is cheaper, but less impactful. The problem? Boston has already surrendered 3 prospects in trades this offseason.
To acquire a Marte or a Donovan, they would likely have to tap into the very top of their pitching system, costing them a Peyton Tooley or a Connolly early. Pitching depth they have already bled out. The ultimate fear, the nightmare scenario, is trading top prospects for a player who is not a superstar, settling for an incremental upgrade while the true game changer walks to a division rival. This is why the path must be free agency, a clean transaction for a guaranteed impact bat.
The pressure doesn't end with Bregman and Bichette. The entire market is a powder keg. Look at the Atlanta Braves, with Alex Anthopoulos declaring he's shooting high for an impactful starting pitcher. The connection to Framber Valdez is strong, especially with Martin Maldonado joining the front office, a man who knows Valdez intimately. But the risk is control. Valdez is a short-term, high-dollar commitment, maybe 4 years at $30 million annually.
Anthopoulos might prefer a controllable asset like Freddie Peralta via trade, further tightening the trade market for other controllable players the Red Sox might eventually covet. Then you have the Pittsburgh Pirates, who should be chasing high-impact offense, a Luis Robert Jr. via trade, or maybe settling for an Ahmed Rosario or an Eugenio Suarez in free agency. Because, frankly, free agents usually choose any option better than the Pirates, unless Pittsburgh massively overpays, something they have yet to show a consistent willingness to do.
The Padres are struggling with a payroll crunch, needing to clear money despite A.J. Preller's renowned creativity, which means their assets might be moved soon. And this leads us to the unexpected plot twist, the real threat to Boston's cautious strategy: the New York markets. The Mets and Yankees are not finished. They haven't even truly started their winter maneuvers. The Mets, in particular, need an ace and offensive help, a Cody Bellinger type, to replace the loss of Pete Alonso.
If the Mets make a splash for Bellinger, or if they secure a top-tier trade piece, it instantly alters the bargaining power of every other team. The Yankees, meanwhile, are bafflingly silent, seemingly doing nothing, but we know their resources are limitless. The moment either New York club throws their weight around, the entire dynamic, the price point, the availability, and the urgency skyrockets. The Red Sox must realize they are operating in a vacuum that is about to be shattered.
They have the money, they have the need, and the player is available now. Rosenthal's final message to the Red Sox is the truth. They have one job, and failure to execute it means settling for Noah Arenado in a trade or an underwhelming Suarez, options that are categorically inferior to securing Bregman or Bichette. They must move with free agent conviction immediately. What do you think?
Has Boston waited too long, allowing Toronto to gain the psychological advantage? Or is this all part of a larger, calculated scheme by the Red Sox front office? Let us know who you think Boston must acquire in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow fans, and subscribe to 601 Daily News for the deepest dives into the business of baseball.